Hi there. Thank you for joining. My name's Rachel, as in Rachel G. Palmistry, and you're watching SPTV, which is Spiritual Psychics TV. And tonight I am a palm reader, so wherever you are, hopefully I will get to read your palm. Now, these are quick readings. These are not the half-hour long readings that I do when I actually have a client. So what happens is I need you to take a photo of the hand that you write with. Only the hand that you write with, okay? And make sure it's the hand that if you were to pick up a pen, that it is the hand that you're taking a photo of that palm side of that hand that you would write with, okay? Because that is your dominant hand, meaning your current life. So what does that mean for your other hand? That means that your other hand, all the lines on it and all the little nooks and crannies on that hand represent a past life, all the most poignant events that happened in the past life, okay? So and it's a completely different type of reading for that hand. So focus on the hand that you write with. Now, it has to be from the wrist and all the way out to every little tip of every finger, okay? Try to get it so that the light is shining on the palm, not behind it. So that way I can see all the lines, and please get it in focus, okay? Because that's just as important as the lighting, okay? So there is an address on the screen that you'll see, and that is where you send it to, okay? Send the photo to. And then toward the end, well, I got to back up a little bit. How I do these mini palm readings is that I focus on the things that pop out at me very quickly. And that's what makes it a mini reading, although I am quite a talker. I warn you, I'm a talker, okay? So I have Richard in my ear going, Rachel, Rachel. So thankfully I do, because that way I can actually try to get in as many people as possible. Now, toward the end, for about the last 15 minutes of the show, I also do tarot card reading. So for tonight, I have a deck. That's not the usual deck that I've been using, but I have used this before, and I have the Guardian of the Night Tarot deck by M.J. Cullinane. And with Mercury in retrograde, I thought it's good to pick out a deck that has to deal with that shadowy stuff. If you've ever heard of people having to do shadow work, that's what this deck deals with, because this deck is very much all about those things that grow in the night or bloom in the night, like, fauna that comes out and flora that blooms at night, like moonflowers, etc., right? So all the symbolism that's in the cards has to do with that shadowy side of things, okay? And everybody that, whoever I'm drawn to, I shouldn't have said everybody, but the people that I get drawn to will get a card, and I'll spend about a minute, very quick reading, and then move on to the next person. And that's about the last 15 minutes of the show, okay? So, yeah, if you have any questions about anything that I might say, whether it be palm reading or whether it be tarot, please reach out to me, okay? You can find me on almost any social platform at Rachel G. Palmistry, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, you name it, you're going to find me, even on YouTube, okay? And you can also find me in the sbtv.uk directory. And you can message me that way too, I believe. But anyway, I digress. So, any question that you have for me, though, has to do with whatever I say in the reading that I give you today. If you want more information of something that I did not cover today, that requires an appointment for an actual reading, okay? Now, there are some people that just want more, 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 and that's not quite fair, because if I did that for some people, then why can't I do that for everybody? It's because it's called a time constraint. So, try to get as many people in as I can, and I thank you for watching. And hey, make sure to check out sptv.uk. There's a lot going on over there. There's all kinds of, you can see all of the different presenters. You can see a schedule of what is going on what day. And yeah, I mean, these are all free readings. So you might even want to become a patron of SPTV, okay? And that gives you some perks like a shout out, bit of a priority for readings, things like that. And yeah, so how about, do we have any hellos, Richard? Okay. Okay. If you send your emails to anywhere else or your photos to anywhere else, we are not going to get them. Okay. So don't do Messenger. And that's another thing. Do not send photos to me through Messenger after it's over and expect me to do a reading, because again, that is not fair. This is for the time allotted with SPTV and the community that is SPTV. Okay. So for today, right now, you're going to send your photo of your poem that you write with to photos@spiritualpsychicstv.online. And then hopefully I have the chance and the opportunity to get to that photo for you, okay? And all these restrictions, ooh, I feel so stern all of a sudden. I don't know. Okay, and also, if you send in a photo, and please make sure that it is your hand, all right, and that you are the one who is active in the chat. If your name does not, that you go by in the chat, does not go with the name that you sent with the hand, please just say that in the chat. Say, hey, I'm Dawn. This is me. I sent my hand in, okay? Because we have to know that you're in the chat as well, because if you're not here and you're just going to come back later, again, that is not fair for the people that are here waiting to see if they're going to get their hand read. I mean, I don't think that's quite fair. So anyway, so if we could do that, I'd really appreciate it, everybody. Now that I've laid the rules down, it seems like there's quite a lot of rules. Are there any hellos, Richard? Okay. Antoinette, hello. You just sent yours in. Good, good. Hi, Melanie. I like your backdrop. Kelly, hello. Carol, good to see you. Hi, Stephen. Hi, Rosemary. You send the photo to photos@spiritualpsychicstv.online. Hi, Crystal. It's on the screen. Hey, Miss Loretta Rose. Hello, Retta. Hi, Sandra/Sandra. I cover all bases with the Sandras, okay? Hi, Amanda. Nicole, hello to you too. Priscilla, good to have you here. Christine, hi. And Shelly, hello to you too. Hey, Janet, good evening to you. Melinda, hello to you from South Africa. Uni Kitty, hello. I hope I said that right. Yeah. Hi, Angela. Natalie, good to have you back. Hi, Diana. Terry, hello. I'll wave too. Hey, Wendy. Good to have you here. Hi, Maddie. Tracy. We'll see. We'll see. Hi, Louise. Miss Terry. Thank you for all the hard work you do, Miss Terry. Good to see you. Miss Joanne. Hello, hello. Hi, Gail. Love your little social icon there with the dog. Hello, Kelly. Big love to you too. Hi, Kate. Tracy, nice to see you. Hi, Ingrid. Okay. Hi, Ingrid. Oh, I love the fact that there seem to be more people on YouTube this time around because Facebook sometimes doesn't show everybody who's there or the comments, etc., etc. So YouTube is kind of like Old Faithful. You always know who's going to be on YouTube, and you always can tell the comments that are on YouTube, whereas Facebook is always like, you never know what you're going to get. Okay, Antoinette, your image that you sent in is very blurry, and Richard would like me to say that to you, the producer. So if you could take another photo, please. Okay. What was the name again? I'm sorry. Rosemary. Okay. Rosemary, if you're here, can you please just comment in the chat section? Rosemary Valentine. It's chaos. I love it. Rosemary Parker, is that what you said? If you sent in your hand as Rosemary Valentine, could you please state that in the chat? Or we will move on to the next one. Ooh, picture's so vibrant today. Rosemary Barker. All right, you're here. Yay. Rosemary knows she's here. Okay. That's more than I know about myself sometimes, Rosemary. Okay. Now, I'm assuming this is the hand that you write with. Is that correct? Because there aren't a lot of lefties out there. So let's make sure this is the hand that you write with, too. So if you could just respond with a yes or no, Rosemary. Okay, so congrats on remaining a lefty. Okay, I know that sometimes in some cultures, and even here in the US, well, during the 70s, it was kind of, pounded out of us. We had to be righties. So, anyway, so with you, you have the elements of water in your hand with a little bit of earth, which is a volatile combination because what happens if you overwater a plant or overwater a garden, right? Everything floods out, you get mud, the plant dies, etc. And emotions are the equivalent to water. Now, the fact that you are a left-handed person means that you are right-brained, so you have this ability to think outside of the box, and you have an artistic streak and a very unique way of looking at things and also solving problems. Okay, so you are more gray than the than the left-brained people who are all mathematical and black and white, except for me, I failed geometry. But I digress. So with you, you have so many lines on your hand that you have the hand of somebody that would be called a prophet. not as in a FIT, but PHET on the end, meaning that you have a lot of influence and a lot, whatever you say, people are going to listen to you no matter what, okay? You have a message to deliver, and people are going to stop what they're doing and they're going to listen to it. But your wisdom line, which I'm going to show you, okay, this is the lifeline. I'm going to go this way because it's easier for me. This is the lifeline, okay, this line that goes down like this. And the line that goes across from that is the wisdom line, okay? And then the very top line is the relationship line. Now, the lines, the way that I read poems, start over here, okay? And then they end around this way, okay? So if you notice, your wisdom line and your lifeline do not pinch together like mine. This is how most people's hands look. They have a pinch here, okay? When you have the hand of about 30% of the population, in that something happened in your past life, which for you would be your right hand, of where you were kind of prevented from finishing up what you wanted to do, like what your calling, your karma kind of calling was to do, and someone prevented you from doing it. And so here you are, and you have an active pipeline of information into past life stuff, the wisdom that you gained in your past life, because this is not pinched off. So you have the hand of a leader, not a follower. You have the hand of somebody who has a higher purpose. No pressure, Rosemary. No pressure. All these things I'm saying to you. Now, you also have some lines underneath Saturn and underneath Apollo. Now, these lines mean that how they are, means that you have some doubt as yourself as to whether or not you are doing the things that you should be doing, or if you were to even to express to people how things that they do make you feel, right? Because there are a lot of people taking credit for your ideas and taking credit for the things that you do behind the scenes. You are not one to step out front and say, oh, this was my idea. You back up. This was my idea. You aren't that type of person. You're the person who will give somebody the idea and then kind of sit back and kind of regret not getting that kind of recognition that you should be getting, because you deserve to get the recognition. It was your idea. Now, with a water hand, you're highly intuitive as well. So, water is the equivalent of emotions. So you are, and I really am tired of saying this word because everybody wants to be one and everybody claims to be one, but you are an empath, and you have a line that runs right down into the Mount of Luna, aka the Mount of Selene, which means that you draw a lot of who you are from that area with things that you do. You're probably out there have the ability to do like what I'm doing right now. You could actually be a medium. You could go and you could read cards. You're very highly in tune with the subconscious and with your psychic abilities and your higher self, okay? And if you're not, you're going to be if you start paying attention to your dreams. Now, the other thing is that it does matter if you tell people you have self-doubt underneath Apollo, and this is Apollo, okay? Now, you have self-doubt underneath Apollo. It does matter if someone takes credit for your ideas, and if you do not speak up. It matters because your energy that is inside you needs to hear somebody give you credit. And if it has to be you that gives yourself credit by speaking, yourself, your inner energy is going to hear that, okay? And it will make you feel better just to know that you tried to stand up for yourself, okay? Instead of backing down. Now, the other thing is your thumb is in a very, very good position, but you have a lot of, and this is in no means to be like critical or anything. This is part of the human experience, but you, as the type of hand that you have, right, which is a combination predominantly water with a couple earth fingers. Your earth fingers are your thumb, which is Venus, and Mercury, okay? Now, my earbud just fell out. Now, in Venus, which is this whole area, right? The thumb is Venus. Now, you have a lot of negative interaction lines that have been caused by people that start at the base of the thumb and move toward the lifeline. Now, not only have they had, I'm sorry, Richard? Okay. Rosemary, if you could just confirm or deny anything that I'm saying so we know you're still here, I'd appreciate it. Okay, so would Richard. Now, the other thing is that you have these lines that cut through your lifeline. And those lines represent things that people have done to you. People have embroiled you in situations that have caused great anxiety, great panic, and have actually had physical effect on you in the anxiety kind of situation, right? So how you manage your anxiety will also help you feel better about you and about the decisions you make when you go to help people. Okay, so I highly you're listening. Okay, spot on. All right, thank you, Rosemary, for confirming that. Now, you really, really need to go do some type of meditation. You have to keep track of your dreams because you are highly, highly intuitive, okay? So you know things A all the way in between and then all the way to Z. So that's why people will listen to you and people will come to you, but you're not shielding enough because I feel energy just by looking at your hand. I feel your energy and I feel the fact that people do that. So you have to focus on your visualization skills when it comes to shielding because you need to rest. You need to rest and you need to recuperate from that anxiety that you do have because with a water hand, you're just going to have people coming to you and dumping more water on you. And you don't need that as a water hand because you are just trying to find dry land where you can rest and you deserve it. Okay? So, when it comes to visualization of shielding, it's different for everybody, but it's something that I really recommend that you look up and you start asking people that you know in your field because I really do feel that you do this type of work, and if you haven't, you're going to start very soon. Everybody's going to have a different opinion. You go with it, what's in your gut, okay, Rosemary? And I hope that helped, all right? Because also, you feel things, and you have a deeper understanding of how you work more so than the people around you. So it's very frustrating. The relationships that you do have with people are very frustrating because it's like, why can't they see what they're doing? That's because you're an older soul, Rosemary. They're down here. They could be down here, I should say. They could be older than you in this life, but they could be down here, meaning younger, soul age, and you're up here, even though you're younger than them in this lifetime, okay? So it aligns with how you feel. Thank you very much, Rosemary. So if you have any questions at all, please just get in contact with me. And I hope that what I had to say helped in some way, okay? But just remember to vocalize take credit for the work that you do and take credit for those ideas that you give people, okay? And start journaling your dreams and find a way to kind of give yourself some space and give yourself a time out, a forced time out, okay? All right. Richard, what do you a forced time out. Oh, everybody knows those words. All right, so who do we have next? Hmm. Violetta? Okay. Hmm. Let me swallow my water first, okay? So, a lot of people have have different ways of shielding. Okay, some people say that, oh, you surround yourself with a bright white light. Well, let me remind you of something. When you turn a porch light on at nighttime, right, in the summer, or if you're in the woods and you in the forest or something, you turn a light on. What's it attract? It attracts bugs. So it's not just simply about surrounding yourself with a bright white light. So that's why visualization is so important, and figuring out what works for you is so important. Okay. All right. So here we have Violetta. Okay. All right. And I can't see the fingers, Richard. They're like cut right in the middle. And if you could just move it down, a little bit more. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you, Richard. Okay, Violetta, you have a very intriguing hand, because I can't tell if it's just the way the photo is, like how you took the photo, that your thumb is so close, or if that thumb is actually that large. But what I will say is how it's placed. Now, this is, again, this is not a criticism. This is just how it works in palmistry. Your Achilles heel is your thumb. The placement of your thumb says that you actually feel validated if you are included. Like if someone will say, hey, Violetta, will you come and do this for me? And you'll be like, oh yeah, sure, I'll do it. And in your mind, that's them including you. Well, you don't have to do that all the time. You do not. What you need to do, though, is feel better about yourself and understand that the real reason they come to you isn't to include you, but because you are actually the stronger one. You are stronger than they are because of the type of hand that you have. You have a very, very complex hand with 3 different elements, and it's very rare to have more than 2 element type hand. You have an air, earth, and fire combination, okay? Now, with that, it's the shape of your palm, it's the shape and width of your fingers, it's also the tips of the fingers and how they look. Now, when we do things with our fingers, right? We don't really necessarily grab things with our palm. If we write something, if we go to pick up a glass of water, we're using our fingers to do all that. If we shake somebody's hand, we grip with our fingers. So it's the same thing. Think of the fingers as our wands almost, okay? So people will feel the vibe off of your energy as soon as you shake somebody's hand. And they are going to see the following. They're going to hesitate to get to know the real you underneath everything, because they're going to feel a bit of an air element situation, because that's how your fingers taper, okay? Now, what that means is air element is always about, I could help you if I want to. That's a very, very strong element. Now, with the earth side of you, that's the length and the width when it goes further down, okay? Now, the fire part of you is actually your palm, because it is, if I were to draw a line around it, it's very square. Now, the other thing is your thumb. Let's get back to that. It has to do with social interaction, which is why I say that there's a part of you that feels validated when people say, hey, Violetta, can you please, come on, can you do this for me? Well, they only ask you because they know underneath it all you are stronger than they are. And you have very little tiny lines of negative social interaction on your hand, okay? And see, you do have the pinch, whereas Rosemary didn't have it. You do have a pinch here on your wisdom line and your lifeline, which means that you have that closed off kind of wisdom from your past life. You can't really remember it. But I will tell you something. The more work that you do, you are kind of falling into the Achilles trap that is your thumb. And you are going to have to realize that it's not important what people think about you. It's important what you think about yourself. And I say that, and Violetta, if you're still here, could you please comment in the chat? Just say yes or no, or I'm here, okay? Because we like to know that, Richard and I like to know that people are still here watching. So I say this also because Jupiter, aka Zeus, is bending over towards Saturn. And Jupiter, aka Zeus, has to do with self-esteem and ego. And he is bent, okay? Which means that there's a part of you which does not feel that great about you, but does feel better if others will include you. Now, the other thing is Saturn has a bit of a bend to Saturn as well. Saturn is the business finger, right? The go-to, that drive, that stamina. So it's the longest finger on your hand by far. So people see that and they sense that vibe. Thank you for confirming that, Violetta. Okay. So people can see that and sense it. All right. It isn't like they're looking at your hand going, oh, you have a long Saturn finger. I'm going to put this work onto you. No, it's a vibe. They know that you will be the one to do things just because they have to be done and somebody has to do this. So they will drop the ball willingly and just pass the buck to you. I hope you understand these euphemisms. Now, the other thing is that with Apollo and Mercury, right now, those are the most diminutive fingers on your hand, okay? And they are your communicators. So that is also an Achilles heel that you have, is that you will not speak up enough on your own behalf. And so people have a tendency to take advantage of you, which is why you like to isolate. But here's the thing, is that you can't isolate. You cannot keep you from others. It's just that you haven't found the right people yet. Now, if you were to do something very, very creative and be very entrepreneurial about things, you would be great, because then you would be the one attracting people to you and have people wanting to work with you instead of you picking up the slack for others, okay? Now, the other thing is your lifeline kind of vanishes after this point here, okay? It doesn't go around the base of Venus here, the Mount of Venus, right? Don't worry about it. Some palm readers actually might say something to scare you about that, but I've been doing this for 35 years, and I have seen people, I've seen like 80-year-old women who have a lifeline that's maybe an inch long, and it's okay. All right. So don't let anybody tell you, oh, that's a bad thing, because it's not. It just means about your energy, okay? And how you feel about yourself. And that can actually change a bit, all right? So, I mean, the actual line itself can change a bit, the depth of it and everything. So, I hope what I said helped. But I also know that you made a lot of decisions when you were young to make sure that things were not going to repeat themselves in the future, which is also why you isolate a lot. And you kind of, your relationships that you do have aren't as deep as they could be. And again, that is not a criticism. This is just being human, just factual, being human. It happens to everybody. But with you, you feel things very intensely, and you also have had a lot of things happen when you were very young to kind of make you set those boundaries, really, really rigid boundaries in place. So you are the doer, not so much the person who will be the risk taker. But I'm telling you, if you were to be an entrepreneur, and if you had an idea and you went out there and you tried it, then people would come to you and the whole role would switch around, and you would feel a lot better about what's going on. It's like this, okay. You would feel a lot better, and your communication would come easier for you. So you would be able to tell people how you feel about things, and you would also be able to get in their face when they actually did something wrong, instead of having to be pushed into a corner, backed into a corner before you actually spoke up for yourself. Okay? So I hope, I mean, that was very kind of stern, some of the things I said. So understand, it is in no way a criticism. It's just what your hand says, okay, about you and about your soul energy. So if you have any questions, Wyletta, please just get in contact with me. And I hope some of the things that I said actually hit a point and helped you in some way, okay? All right. So please remember, though, that those boundaries are so rigid that they could push away people that could be really great. Don't be afraid to experience relationships with people, friendships, things like that. Don't be afraid just because of things that happened in the past. All right, and I hope that helped, Wyletta, okay? All right. And I know that's easier said than done. Trust me, I know that. All right, trust me. But we have to try. We have to try because we're human. All right, who else do we have, Richard? Someone's cut their thumb off. Oh, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of the thumb. All right. Oh, hi. Now, Jaya, I think that you actually have an appointment with me. So, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Oh, what was the first name again? Dawn Foster. Okay. 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 All right. So, Tracy Foster, but it's Dawn Foster's hand. It's a little blurry, but it's workable. I'll do the hand shape. Okay. All right, Tracy. So this is Dawn's hand. This is Tracy's, yeah, Tracy's dad. Okay. Now, the thing with yeah, that helps a little bit. Thank you, Richard. So the thing with your hand is you have a 100% earth hand. 100%. And now Dawn's here now. 100% earth hand. So people are going to come to you with their problems like no tomorrow. Like, I mean, really, like no tomorrow. People, earth hands, I promise you, I'm going to write a book about this, but out of 35 years of doing this, earth hands are the number one hand. 80% of the hands I've seen, earth hands, okay? So the thing that you need to know, Dawn, is that as an earth hand, you have to have boundaries. But the thing is, and this is really harsh, okay? And this is going to be hard to hear, but you're going to understand it when I say it. You have to be the one, not anybody else. You have to be the one to draw that line in your own nutrient-rich soil. And you're going to be the only one to respect it. And the worst part of it is you're going to be the only one to defend it, but you have to do both. Because if you just give all of your nutrients away, because soil, which is earth, is not discerning, right? It's not biased about what type of seeds are put into it. It's just like, oh, here's a seed, let's pump some nutrients to it, right? So if people come to you, you are willing to help and you are there. So what's going to happen if you do not have those nutrients for you? If there's something that you need to do, you're going to be too exhausted. You're going to feel like you don't have the time. You're going to put you on the back burner, and that is actually backed up by your fingers. Now, Jupiter, aka Zeus, is very short on your hand, okay? And he has to, excuse me, I have this little tickle right here on my nose. So he has to do with self-esteem and ego, and he is shorter than Apollo, which is about self-care on your hand. Now, the interesting thing is that you have a bit of an actor's formation on your hand too, which means that Saturn, the stamina, the drive, the let's do this kind of finger, right? The militant, dictatorial kind of figure that Saturn was, Titan God, is all represented in this finger. And Apollo, the one who's also known as the sun, Helios, right? The sun in the sky, is all about communication, but self-expression and like self-care. Now, when these two fingers are set close together, and you can see that you have a space here, a gap, right, on both sides, either side of these two fingers, that means you have an actor's formation. So you put one of those, like those old 1970s rubber masks over your face, right? And you're like, I'm fine. See, look at me. I'm smiling. I'm okay. I can take more. Bring it. Bring it. Well, you're going to have to take that mask off, okay? Because you need to start doing things for you. You need to show you that you can do things for you. And you need to start showing other people that you can do things for your inner self. And I put little air quotes there, meaning your personal needs, okay? That you haven't told other people about, but other people can see that you're wearing a mask on. They can, all right? Now, one thing that has been given to you by higher authority, right? So Mercury, which is all about like your backbone, is very long. So when people, and almost as long as Jupiter, which is really interesting. Now, when Mercury is very long, that means that you can speak your mind, but you have such a gap here that you really have to get furious in order for you to speak up and like almost preach the truth about a situation that you saw happen. And with that, you need to start doing that more, because it will start you in this kind of regimen of defending your boundaries more and more, which is what you should be doing. You are very well respected. I can see a bit of a presence line going through the middle of your hand and going down, okay? But you're also an empath, because this area of your hand is very round, and this area is called the Mount of Luna, or the Mount of Selene, which is the moon goddess, okay? So you have a very intuitive part to you. And the way your thumb is placed is that again, it's an Achilles heel. Not only is Jupiter, your self-esteem, very, very short, right? Meaning that you don't put yourself first, but also the way your thumb is placed, where it joins on your hand, is higher up, which means that you will be the first one there to help others. Now, that is a good thing, but you also can't pour from an empty cup. Now, can you? Now, I want you to look up rotational farming, Dawn, okay? Because I think that you might already know what I'm talking about when it comes to rotational farming. You need to give yourself a period of just breathing easy, where you do not have to grow anything for anybody, just for you, okay? To put those nutrients back in your soil. And as I said, people respect you, and people can see that they are pulling nutrients out of you right and left, and that you're not okay. So if they can see that, ask yourself, why aren't they saying it? That's because they are using your spine as support. And you are their crutch. You are their crutch. And it's time for you to stand up on your own and say, okay, this has to stop a little bit, all right? People have to start doing things for themselves, because there's a fine line between actually helping somebody and enabling them. Okay? I said it. I meant it. So, Dawn, if you have any questions, or if Tracy wants to get in touch with me, or if you want to get in touch with me about anything I had to say, please just remember this. You have to be the one to draw the boundary, and you're going to be the only one to respect it, but you are most definitely going to be the only one to defend it. So if everybody knows Don for making left-hand turns his entire life, and suddenly after this hearing me talk, you decide to make a right-hand turn, everybody's going to be like, what's going on? What's wrong with Don? There's going to be some conflict, okay? So just buckle up for that. Just buckle up for that. There might be some rocky situations, okay? You're very welcome, Don. Glad to help. Glad to help. Okay. So who else do we have, Richard? Hmm. 6. Okay. All right. 8. Okay. Tina Lacey. Okay. All right. So it is I've often wondered about why earth hands are the ones who need to have their hands read the most. It is one of those things I ponder quite often. All right, so here we are, Tina Christine Lacey. All right, so you've been trying to send it in for over a year. All right. Well, you did it. You did it. Kudos. Congratulations. You did it. Yes, she did it, Richard. All right. So with your hand, this is the hand that you write with, Tina? It better be, or we're going to start back from square one. Tina, is this the hand that you write with? Yes, it's really excited. Okay. So I'm going to assume that, yes, this is the hand that you write with. Now, again, you're a lefty. Kudos, all right, for hanging in there, sticking it out, right? Now, you have some very interesting qualities on your hand in that you have a very almost malleable hand, very squishy, pillow-like hand. Your fingers, I can tell, are very, very squishy, and so is your palm. Now, what that means is that you have, and you also have a water hand, a 100% water hand, with a bit of an Achilles heel. All right, now what is that Achilles heel on your hand? Is your thumb, okay? Now, your thumb, you can take or leave people, right? You just are like, nah, I don't really need them. Well, guess what? They still throw things your way. That's because they can sense that you can take or leave them, right? Now, the thing is, no, she did her left hand. What? What's going on? What do you mean by no, she did her left hand, Tina? Is this the wrong hand? It's like charades, almost. It's like dun 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 dun. Now, are you gonna wear the same outfit, Richard? You got the hair, but are you gonna wear the outfit Cher was wearing when she did that song? Do you remember that outfit? Come on. Get 10 seconds, 10 seconds, Tina, and then I'm gonna move on. Is this the wrong hand? Is this the hand that she writes with, or that you write with? Okay. No, I'm not saying that. Richard said, "Are you drunk?" That's what Richard just said. Are you drunk? Okay. Oh, and he forced me to say that. Meanie. Okay, all right, all right. So, okay, so that is your Achilles heel, is your thumb. All right, we're off to a rip roaring start, as we say here in the States. Rip roaring. So, no? Who's writing what? They're not drunk. Okay. Okay, all right. So we're moving on. We're going to a different person. All right. So only the hand that you write with, people. Okay, only the hand that you write with. Like me, I'm right-handed. So I would take a picture of my right hand. Okay? And I would send that photo of my right hand in because that's the hand that I write with. Oh, okay. Yes, I do. We can do it. Red a rose. Red a rose. All right. Look at that hand. All right. So when are you going to understand the success lines that you have that are formed underneath your fingers, Retta? Hmm? Or okay, I'll just call you Loretta since you outed yourself there. But Loretta, you have success lines forming underneath your fingers. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this to you or not, all right? But the more horizontal they get, the more success you are going to have in the areas of what you are doing with your life, what you are doing for others, the choices that you are making, in your communication as well. So you need to be the leader that you are meant to be. Now, the type of hand that you have, we've spoken about that. Now, too much water, meaning too many emotions, and a very highly intuitive hand, right? Now, you have a lot of what are called sister lines that run parallel to the lifeline, and they run like this, okay? So if this is the lifeline, this is a lifeline. They're closer to the thumb. They're in this fatty area here, which is called the Mount of Venus. And they run in the same direction as the lifeline, okay? Now, as you can see on Loretta's got a lot of them. And they are starting to make themselves known. Now, so the farther away they are, means that they are more standoffish, and the closer they are to the lifeline means that they are more actively involved in what is going on. And what is their purpose? Well, first off, they are spirits, they are friends, family, loved ones. Some call it spirit guides, angels, whatever your personal belief is, right? That they're over there in heaven, wherever source, right? And they try to take the hit of the most uncomfortable situations that people throw at us. And Loretta has a lot. You have a lot, Loretta. And one of them actually is really making themselves, their presence known, because you are being thrown a lot of really, really deeply, I'll say it, infuriating and agonizing stuff by others, okay? And that's what these lines are that go this way, in this direction. So if you notice, these lines are going straight through them. If a line stops at one of them, that means that they actually helped prevent that situation from having the most extreme effect on you, okay? Now, your presence line is going straight into the Mount of Selene, right? Or the Luna. And I believe it's a little bit more so than usual. And you also have more line work in there. So you need to get your cards and you need to start working more. And the stuff like what I do and the people on SPTV do than you have been. I mean, you need to start journaling what cards you pull every day and also compare it to what's going on in your life on a day-to-day thing. Something that will give you some time to kind of recenter and recalibrate too, because you'll be on your own when you do it. Now the other thing is, what do I mean by success in communication and success in doing things? Well, you still have some self-doubt underneath Apollo, okay? Now, what that means is you doubt whether or not explaining to people how you feel about their treatment of you would even matter. Like, it would just go right over their head. They'd be like, nope, doesn't matter. It matters, okay? And that's what the success line, which is this big circle that you have, almost like, not a circle, but a big line that's kind of scooped, right? Like a big scoop that you have. That's what that means, is that if you were to combine what you are doing with the different forms of communication that you do have, such as mediumship, okay, and also with the psychic ability that you do have, because you are very, very, very intuitive and keyed into the other side, you will go far, and it will actually help you in the situations that you are going through right now. Now, excuse me one moment. Sorry about that. With your relationship line going all the way across your hand, all right? Now, it's very, very deep, which means that you feel things more intensely right now because the intensity of the line can change. It can go up and it can go down. And Richard, can you still see me? All right, don't worry about it. So with the depth of your line, the depths of the line can change every like every 6 to 8 weeks, I should say. Now, you are at a point right now where you are feeling everything really intensely. And you have to understand you're feeling it very, very intensely because now is the time that you need to be speaking up. That's why. It's like the universe is pushing you to speak up and pushing you to become this person that you're meant to be. You've kind of put it on a back burner for a while, and a lot of change is going to take place. Your wisdom line is curving down into the Mount of Selene even, so you're going to be making judgment calls and creating boundaries using your intuitive nature more so than you ever have before. Now, I hope that helped, Loretta. I hope that helped. And you know that Mercury is in retrograde. So now is the time for you to communicate using both types of communication. Telling people how you feel and using the truth. You weren't there at 2 o'clock, and this is how it made me feel. Because you weren't there at 2 o'clock. You just bounced back and forth between both of them. And I say that because this area, which is a plane of Aries, you have 2 planes of Aries. Everybody does. One over here and one over here. Okay? Now, this looks a little bit more, we'll say, fleshy than this side over here. So what you need to do is you need to start communicating with the truth and also with your emotions. And then if you feel like that isn't working, then you can always bring in some ego and just say, well, done. And I think you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So I hope that helped, Loretta, and it was really great getting to see your hand. And it's a good picture, too, so thank you. Thank you, Loretta. Thank you. Okay, we have a couple of adverts, and I'll be right back.
MySpiritualDirectory.com is one of the fastest growing online free listing service. Our search directory offers geolocation feature, rating ability, review system, map location, customer comment, YouTube video, gallery, social media sharing, direct contact with the lister, simple online booking and payment system. It's free to register and use. It even creates your own mini web page, which you can update at any time, and yes, it's still free, no monthly or yearly fees. 100% free. Creates your own profile page. Add social media and other links. Add a mini gallery and a YouTube video. Rating, reviews and comments. Includes online booking and payments. So, if you're looking for a medium or a reader, even a church, maybe a healer, or any other spiritual service, then visit myspiritualdirectory.com.
My Spirit Life is a free online interactive magazine for those who have an interest in improving their spiritual lives. Authors can upload images, videos, and audio clips to their own articles. The public can place comments, rate the article, and follow the author. All articles are vetted before being published. For more information and to place your own article, please visit myspiritlife.co.uk.
Are you planning a paid spiritual event, or looking for something to do this weekend? Then visit myspiritualevents.com. You can browse the listing, view the event details, watch a YouTube clip, look at a mini gallery, select dates and times, pay for tickets using PayPal or your debit card. Organizers can register for free and start selling tickets within minutes, be it for their online or in-person spiritual event. As an organizer, you will have access to your own admin dashboard, which will display information such as your income and your bookings, all in a simple and user-friendly display. It's free to use. Join and upgrade to an organizer. Come and visit us at myspiritualevents.com.
We all love our fur babies. Join Jessica May for an evening of animal communication from 8 p.m.
And I'm back. All right, so we're going to do cards now, everybody. And just as a reminder, because Mercury is in retrograde, and so is Neptune in retrograde, which I didn't mention before. Now, Neptune can be found right here on the hand, okay? This little area right here. Now, if you have a lot of markings in this area, like a lot of cross hatching or a lot of like little islands, like little areas that are closed off, right, like little circles, those are called islands, then that means that there is something that you have done in the past that has had a negative effect on someone. So now is the perfect time, until Neptune goes back direct in December, I think like December 15th. Now is the time for you to actually kind of apologize to that person or make amends. So you really have to think back and think hard about it, okay? But the other thing I want to tell you is that with Mercury retrograde, we are dealing with the shadow self, right? So that's why I am using, I have it upside down, The Guardian of the Night deck by MJ Cullinane, okay? Now, I know my box might look a little different, but it's because I got it when it was a GoFundMe kind of project for the creator of the deck. But the cards are the same. So, who do we have first for a card, Richard? Lila. Okay. Now, the thing with these cards is that they deal with the darker things that are going on, our shadow selves. Everything is in the dark, right? Has to deal with nighttime. So it deals with the shadow self. Four of Swords. Now, if you notice, you are laying in wait, or lying in wait almost, aren't you? And you are very well protected. If somebody were to walk along on this snow, they're going to hit these swords. So you are being very protective of you. Swords are all about conflict. Now, the thing with this is that you are also laying in wait because you feel that this wrong situation is there. Now, so when I was talking about Neptune, this is what I want you to focus on, Lila, okay? Is there somebody that has wronged you, or have you wronged somebody in the past? Because swords are air cards and are all about conflict through the whole suit, okay? And the four has to do with, across the board, has to do with the foundation of something. So have you, or has somebody, a friend maybe, actually done something untoward? Now let's think about this, okay? Because that's what this card is representing. This is almost that trying to protect you, because this is you, okay? This is you down here. So I hope that that helped. So no wonder I was bringing up Neptune retrograde. Okay, so who else do we have, Richard? Ingrid. Okay. We have more swords. We have the Knight of Swords. So you are ready to go into battle. Okay? Even though you are this, was that a sturgeon? I'm not very sure if that's a sturgeon or not. But you are surrounded with emotion, meaning water. And the sword is down, meaning that the knight is always the one who goes out there and does the dirty work, right? But whatever situation was supposed to happen, it's already happened. And there is so much emotion around it that you feel like a fish out of water. You almost feel like, where do I go now? What do I do now? And this has to do with shadow stuff, okay? Even though the sky is a little bit more pale, like it's in the light, you can see the moon over here, okay? And so the moon is in a crescent. So understand that a situation that has happened, somebody else's hands are dirty, not yours. So stop blaming you, all right? Stop blaming yourself for whatever situation might have arisen between you and a friend or a loved one. But it will get better. It will get better. Okay, who else do we have, Richard? Christina. I'll take a quick drink of water. Okay, thank you. All right, you got a great card. You have the Wheel of Fortune, right? Or otherwise known as the Wheel. So, universe, source, spirit, God, heaven, whatever you would like to use in this with this scenario is just waiting on you to decide, okay, what you are going to do. You have a snake in the center, which is wisdom from the ancestors in all actuality, okay? So you are probably having very vivid dreams, and you have these owls which also represent wisdom. But understand this, with the wheel, traditionally the wheel, you can never stop the wheel. It's always going to turn. You have to understand that you are a very essential cog, meaning one of the little keys, right, that are on that wheel of a mechanism that you cannot fathom. It's just that important, all right? So feel better about you. Understand there's a big decision to be made, but feel better about you. Follow your heart and follow your gut, and you will get through it. Follow that instinctual voice you have in your stomach. And I can't see any comments, by the way, Richard, if there are comments. I just see her name. That's it. And part of the social icon. Okay. So I'm just doing this blind and doing it. Just doing it. What just happened? Richard's blaming me now. Oh my goodness. All right. So anyway, this is your card. Yes, very. Richard, come on now. Be nice. Oh yeah, right across my eyes. There you go. All right. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So this is your card. Now pay attention to those dreams, Christina. Write them down, all right? Because you're getting information from your ancestors, all right? So who else do we have? Oh, Richard, I swear. What am I going to do with you? Okay. Earlier, he was singing If I Could Turn Back Time. I outed you, Richard, just for that. Oh, they are getting drunk now, Richard. Okay. All right, Tina. Ooh, you have the Hanged Man. Now, there is a lot of interesting things that happen with the Hanged Man. Now, first off, I want to tell you that possums do not hang from their tree like this. They just don't do it. The only way you're going to see a possum do this is if they have lost their footing on a branch and they use their tail for balance. So they will grab the branch with their tail. So have you feel like you've lost balance in your life lately? Lost a little bit of you lately? And that you need to gain a little bit more wisdom from somewhere. So this is where I'm going to say, again, go to your dreams. Look at your dreams. Focus on your dreams. Because if we see over in here, right in here, we have these eyes, okay? So you're not alone. We have spirit around you. And the thing with the Hanged Man is that it's often associated with Odin. So, and how Odin did with the Tree of Life in order to get runes, etc., and the whole wisdom and language for his people, and often associated with that, okay? So that's why I asked if you feel like you are waiting on something. And pay attention to your dreams. All right, here we go. Who else do we have? Lizzie Busy Bright. Yes, you may have a card. Oh, we have the Moon. We have a Major Arcana card. Now, with this, you have to ask yourself, is this wolf actually pouring these fish out into this water, or is it trying to actually capture this fish? Now, the thing with the Moon is that this wolf is completely and entirely out of place, isn't it? And it's a full moon up here. So there should be a type of balance, but because of the type of deck that this is, it's showing that you do not feel balance at all right now. You feel out of place. The colors that are in this card even indicate that you feel a little bit like on edge, right? So this is almost a scene from a horror movie or apocalyptic kind of movie, right? The Moon traditionally has one white wolf and one black wolf on either side, okay? And obviously in this one, we just have a black and white wolf. So the balance is here. The balance is here, but it's so out of touch with you, or you are out of touch with finding that balance that you can't see the forest for the trees. So take some time for yourself, Lizzie Busy, and really focus and write down the pros and cons of a situation that you're going through. And that will help you, okay? That will help you actually decide what you need to do. All right? And I think that is going to be it for me for today. I know it's a little bit short, but I want to thank everybody for actually stopping by today, and I've enjoyed it. I just want to say, remember how important it is for you to remember that you are loved and how important you are in the scheme of things, okay? Excuse me. Because you are very important, and you're so important that you're not even going to understand how important you are, but that's just how much you're loved. You exist. Your energy, your soul, you exist, and you're here, and energy cannot be destroyed. It just changes form, okay? So what you have, even though you might feel inconsequential, understand you have something to bring to the table of a bigger picture than you will ever be able to fathom, okay? And so with that, I bid you good night. And remember you're loved. And if you have any questions, just reach out. And I'll be back in 2 weeks' time. And I will have the amazing Cassie Cosmic Tarot on again. I had her on here 2 weeks ago. And it will be my interview show with her, as well as we will both be doing readings. Okay, so please tune in for that. And that's in 2 weeks' time at the same bat station, same bat time. Okay. Oh, there. What did you say, Richard? Okay, there is a show tomorrow night, and that is somebody by the name of Jess. Okay. So that'll be 8 o'clock UK time. So please do tune in for that as well. And again, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.